Okay, good morning from the Crows of Tokyo. How are we doing? Sunny day. We've got a small patch of sky visible up there. Looks like another beautiful, beautiful autumn day. Very happy here. What's this conversation for the past half an hour here? What have we got going here? I don't know what we've started here. I don't know. I really don't know. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? 10 pounds lighter. 10 pounds lighter. On the way back from Ome last night, I stopped at Sadako's place. She offered dinner, So I was out at Ome for a couple of days, stopped at Sadako's place, and I was chatting with her about this chat, what's going on, and she's like, what is this, What is this? Okay. Good morning. Thanks. Welcome back. Welcome back. You know what we're doing? There's no surprises here. There's something I want to ask you about the stream as we go forward today. When I was replaying it, I had seen a comment a couple of weeks ago about the audio sync, the synchronization between the audio and the video. And there's 3 cameras involved here. This one outside and this one. And the synchronization did to me seem off. So I played with it this morning. I moved the audio video to see if they could be a little bit better in synchronization. It's a separate setting for the 3 videos. So let me know as we go this morning, the synchronization with the audio. I don't want to fool around with it as we play here, but just compared to what it's been recently, let me know if it's better or worse. We'll see. When people go outside with the shoes, you can tell and see how it's going. So I'm seeing perfect synchronization. I've set the 3 audio streams this morning to match what I see. But once the software puts it together and sends it out, it may be something different at that end. So I don't know. To me, it's way better than what it was last time. I moved it 80 milliseconds, and it seems to make a huge difference. Anyway, let me know. Let me know. The audio for me was very early. The audio was hitting. When the people walked down the street, I was hearing the sound before their feet hit the ground. So I've pushed the audio back 80 milliseconds. The ninjas have indeed been busy. I wasn't here Tuesday and Wednesday, but on Monday, they were busy. I heard any number of times during the day, I heard the quote, fighting outside. And I got some pictures of one of them, actually. I took my little cell phone camera out there and took some pictures. I don't have them ready for you here this morning. There was one little boy doing this, and he killed it. He killed it. He must have been 6 years old, whatever, grade 1 student. He's in the black. I was outside when the shouting started, and I'm looking at this, waiting for the kid to start crying and something, and he didn't. He ate it up. The guy came around the corner, and this kid, his eyes were bright. His whole mood was like this. I went a bit closer. His mother was there taking pictures too, so I think it was okay. And he killed it. And so they started pouring it on. The bad guy, he could see that this kid was obviously going to be able to handle this. So he got closer. He got more threatening. It got a bit louder. And the kid is just, I can handle this. I can handle this. And they tried. Once the guy fell on the ground and it was all done and they got their picture together with the staff member and the kid and the guy lying on the ground, they got their souvenir picture, they all start to pack up. The guy says to the kid, let's go back in. And then the bad guy gets off, dusts himself up, and starts to walk away. The kid sees him walking away and says, you're not getting out of here. Well, he runs after him and tries to, like he doesn't know it's over. I got a few pictures of it. You can't take video of people and like that and post it on the internet, but I got a few pictures of him. And the pose with the kid, like it was like a big game hunting scene where the guy poses next to the tiger he's killed or something, so. So if you have a 6-year-old little boy and he's in a certain type of frame of mind, this would be a real good experience for them, so. It was great fun to watch, you know. So it's going to be fun. If this place does flourish, then over the next coming weeks and months, whatever, I guess it'll get cliched after a while. But it's going to be fun to watch this, you know. So I'm entertained with the shop. It's action, whatever. We sit here every day doing our carving and printing, and when something interesting happens, of course, we look into it. Of course, you know. It's entertainment for me, you know. My life is pretty, you know, routine, day by day here, you know. We don't have our own entertainment here anymore, so. I got the camera all set up in the wrong place. Sorry about that, just a sec. Let me put it back. Here we go. Okay, we'll just keep digging away here. Just keep digging away. Over and over the last couple of days, I got lots and lots of work done. It was really productive, super productive. And I hired one new person, and one lady who had previously been working for us but had left because of a family problem. She came to chat about this, and it turned out that she quit because one of her children is actually severely disabled, and I'm not going to go into that, but whatever. But that had been a problem for her getting work time and stuff, so she quit because of this. And she had just come yesterday to just to see me personally. She'd already talked to me on phone and stuff, but she came personally to say, it's been fun, sorry, but I can't do this anymore, you know. But it turned out that as we were talking there in the entranceway, you know, I was commiserating with her about the difficult family situation they have, you know. And even though we had tried to be flexible with the time, and we still were flexible with the time, she just couldn't come to work to do work because of the interruptions from the family situation. But it turned out that she still wants actually to do work, but she can't come here to do it. So because of that, she had quit. And I didn't know the details of this. So I'm saying, wait. Is the only reason you're leaving is because you know, you can't come over here and get away from home? And she says, yeah. She says, I just have to stay home near the child, you know. I'm like, well, like, now you tell me, because we can easily prepare some work for you. We'll get a box, put the stuff in it, bring it over to your house, and like a week later, if you've got it done, we'll come and pick it up. And she's like, really? Can you do that? And I'm like, now you tell me. You could have told me this a year ago, you know. So we're switching. She, instead of coming to work and packing stuff and then trying to get it ready for the post office, we'll give her a different kind of work. We can't give her the daily post office work because that's deadline specific. It's got to be done by, you know, 4 o'clock or whatever. But we have lots and lots and lots of packing that needs to be done. You know, when we get a new batch of prints from Kubota-san, if it's not something that customers are waiting for, we can send it to her. She can spend a week packing it, bring it back, and it goes into the stockroom. So it's really good news for me, you know, she's actually not leaving. And then on top of that, we hired a new person. She came for her interview on Tuesday. The ladies had set it up, and she looks really, really capable. We'll see how it goes. But so I'm very, very happy. Very, very happy with this. The new lady, she plays mandolin in an amateur little orchestra, so perhaps that means she's handy with her hands and stuff. I don't know. It looks dark. I've got floodlights on this thing. There's a giant, it's blinding for me to see. There's a giant floodlight thing here pointing down at the work. Light coming from up top, light coming from across the room, and yet it still seems a bit dark and gloomy here. Go to the ninja shop for myself. I don't really think I'll be doing that. Thanks very much, but I don't think I'll be doing that. Oh, no, whatever. We're not trying to be anything special for her. You know, we need someone to do the work, and of course we can be flexible. If it's not work that has to be done today, then whatever. Soka, yeah, my skin is. I see what's going on. Okay. Yeah. So when I take my hands away, it brightens up, and when I put my hands there, it darkens. Yeah. I don't know. A manual exposure on the camera might be better, I guess. I don't know. We have actually now two. They sort of come in chains. We have two of our employees now with disabled children. The one lady who's working for us, Ishigami-san. The girl now is nearly an adult. She'll be 20 this year, I guess. And that's why there's a second, because this is a lady who our one employee, they meet together at the special school. You know, the special school for children with special needs or whatever they're called these days. I don't know. So that's what we learned. The second lady, So Japan is much better at this these days than it was. It was a very difficult situation in Japan in the past for, if you go back even around the time I came here, you never saw people in wheelchairs. It was a very old-fashioned approach. Now, as far as I can see from outside and the feedback I hear from these ladies, it seems much more humane, and there's much more social support for people in that difficult situation. But it certainly wasn't the case in the past. It was hide the problem and don't talk about it. It was very difficult. Japan is late to the party on some of those things. That sound here is not the knife breaking, it's the wood. This is not a regular carving knife. This is our famous poker. This is a stainless steel needle. And I can jam and poke and pry without danger of it breaking. The thing you just saw me do now, I could never do with our knife because it's normal steel and it would break in an instant. But this is it's a poker. It's made of steel, and I couldn't break this if I tried. It's a sewing needle from a big industrial type sewing machine. This was it's in the Ito-san video. I didn't understand what he was saying. He was showing me this needle tool of his, and I didn't know what it was. And we were speaking sort of, David's sort of Japanese, whatever. And that scene is in the video there. He waves this thing at me, and he says he's trying to describe what it is, and he says tento, tento, tento. And I'm like, I hear the word you're saying, tento, tento, but I didn't get it. What are you doing? Speaking Italian, I don't know what this is, And he was trying to tell me that this was an industrial sewing machine needle of the type they use for sewing in canvas. In other words, the people that are making tents. And I didn't make the connection. Nobody would make the connection. And the guy's yelling, tento. You see it, it's in that video on our YouTube stream. And finally, whatever, I know, I forget how it happened, but he said, it made enough explanation that I realized that it was, so it wasn't a knife, it's a sewing machine. But it's funny, he was a fun guy, you know. It was a funny experience. Another one I can't forget, you know, he's just yelling, "Tento, tento." And I still don't know, I've had so little contact with other carvers, I still don't know if this is a generic tool that many other carvers use, or whether it's just something Ito-san came together with himself and used. And I learned from him, and I'm using it, you know. I have no idea at all. So here's a little bit of knowledge passed to me, and now it's passed to you, and these are probably going to become widespread. I don't know. Questions about accessibility and stuff. Are newer buildings built to be accessible to people in wheelchairs? It's extremely strict here. And this has been the case now for a couple of decades. Any new construction, period, new train station, new building, new whatever, of course it's all accessible. This is Japan, you know. Like I said, they were late to that party and the switch was this way. Who cares, who cares, who cares? Then at some point there's a struggle and enough PR and enough talking about it, then the switch goes bang, 100% the other way. And it's one of the reasons, actually, the new rules, why we will never be able to renovate this building here. To renovate this building, tear it down and build it back up again means coming to modern codes. And of course that means, at the entrance, wheelchair accessible, and it means any areas that are accessible by customers or staff has to have a full elevator access. And this building, the footprint is so small. If we rebuild it, we lose 50 centimeters on this side, 50 centimeters on that side. We need an elevator, and we need internal stairway access egress from the top floor to the bottom, all of which follows modern rules. The stairways have to be up and down separate, so we need a double stairway in this building. The stairways, the elevator, everything else, it eats about a quarter of the floor space. We can't possibly renovate this building. We've learned more about this. So. No, the tool then. Okay, it's just a piece of wood, nothing. It's a piece of cherry wood. I drilled into the end, zip, zip, just a little tiny hole drilled into the end. Took the sewing machine needle and banged it into the end with the back side at the top. And you can see the little groove. This is industrial sewing machine needle, and it had a groove running down the length of it, where the thread goes. I think little tiny round needles don't have that, but bigger, fatter needles have a groove. And then I just simply, just get on the sharpening stone and make the shape you want. It's shaped sort of like my knives. It's got a little bevel at the back. Can we get the angle here in the light? It's shaped sort of like the carving knives with a bevel at the back, but it doesn't break. It's not sharpened in the sense of those other tools. It's a pry bar. It's like a miniature crowbar. Someone's saying, you just watch the meaning of life, it's fun. Thank you very much. I know there was a comment last night on that video. YouTube sometimes sends me an email. So-and-so made a comment on your video. They don't very often, but sometimes they send me these. So I went to that video this morning, actually, and read through some of the comments, which I hadn't seen before. And wonderful. Wow, I was really, really pleased. And lots of people seem to have really, really, really enjoyed that video. I very much want to make some more. But life, nah. It's a familiar sound, I think. So. The world is working as it should. I'm such an old reactionary, The things that happen like clockwork and they happen on time, it's just, we're okay, Maybe it's my age now or something, I don't know, The regular rhythms of this stuff is just satisfying, I guess it's a combination. We need the regular stuff coming by and refreshing you that the world is in order as it should be, and then there's the new stuff on top of that to mix it up and keep things interesting, An Oshibori truck plus a ninja experience, Over the past couple of days out in Ome, and I was speaking to the staff there, our main shippers, Ishigami-san and Yasui-san, they've been working for me now for, just about 10 years since the Ikui Heroes days. I don't see them that often because I don't go to Ome so much, and they're okay, they're happy with that. They know what they're doing, and they don't need Dave hanging around and the manager watching and all that kind of stuff, But I do have to, touch base with them once in a while, and there's some aspects of the new software that they didn't know about, so I had to, bring them up to speed on that sort of stuff. It was funny seeing them and chatting with them, and they're okay with working on their own. They don't want me there getting in their way. But they have their list. After I've been away for a while and haven't seen them for a couple of months, they've got a long list of stuff that, what about this, let's do this, let's try this, or I'm not happy with this, or stuff like that. So we went through their lists, and I can accommodate some of the things they want to change and do, and some of the things they want I can't accommodate. And they see their part of the business. They don't see the other parts, So. And they're really nervous about Cameron. Cameron's off on a break now. He's over. He's moved. He's actually flown away now. Cameron's gone for a month on holiday. Then he'll be coming back to work. But they're really, really nervous about this. Is it going to be okay? Can we do it? Can we talk to him? What about the time zone difference? Because it's going to be tough. They're on Tokyo time, and he's going to be on what's it called, Eastern time in the U.S. And that's about as far apart as you can possibly get time zone wise. Okay, am I staying in view? Seems all right. Outside the photo shoot, no, it's the delivery. It's just a delivery. There's something else going on. Let's have a look. Well, there are cameras and stuff. Yes, could be. Maybe there's something else going on at the antique store today. I really don't know. Could be. Maybe this is a follow-up to the previous video taking. I don't know. Not our business, really, but whatever. Yes. People with cameras. Maybe there's something going on. We'll see. Cosplay. I don't know. It could be. This happens all the time in Asakusa. Not so much at 8:30 in the morning, but it does. There will be a girl with various uniforms, and she's pulling her little makeup bag and stuff, and then there's a cameraman or two cameramans, and there are these services in Tokyo offered by photographers that will do your pictures for Instagram and stuff. And if you're a cosplayer and you want to, do a new Instagram package or something, so we see those kind of people all the time. Almost daily. I mean, you can't walk around Asakusa for a few hours without seeing people doing that. The other common one is weddings. I know people from China, and I'm not quite sure how they're getting into the country, but there are Chinese weddings, and they come to Asakusa for photo shoots. Tento. This is, of course, supposed to be a rocky shore, so there's no smooth, delicate carving here. This is smash, crash, bang, bang, make it rough. The air conditioner out there, and hey, it's on its last legs now. We won't be hearing it too much longer, In fact, any day now could be the last day. We don't know when it's going to get turned off. And obviously the mall over there does need conditioning of the air during the year. In the winter they'll need heaters, but it seems to be a different set of machines. So the one you just heard is the summertime air conditioning system. Starts in March or April, ends in October. And then through all the winter months it's quiet. We don't hear anything from over there. So the sound you just heard just now, who knows, maybe that was the last play, who knows, I don't know. And from now on the nights will be peaceful. Until next spring. Sa. Oh, someone said, did I grab the straight line knife from Ome? I did. I haven't even unpacked yet. I got stuff upstairs. I did. I'm going to unpack it. It's there's a reason I don't have it in my box here this morning. It is covered with rust. Totally covered with rust. It's unusable. I'm going to have to spend an hour or so down here, oil it, sharpen it, clean it, oil it. So yes, I did remember, and you will see it in a stream near you coming soon. There's no way I'm going to show you right now. It's embarrassing, hauntingly embarrassing. How many years? It'll be the last time I did carving out there. It would be the Ukiyo-e Heroes prints, the rickshaw cart, fox moon, stuff like that. So we're talking 2013, spring of 2014 will be the last time I did any carving out there. So. Streaming technician, love to help the stream. Whatever. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about this. What we should do with these streams, at the moment it's pretty low tech. I set 3 cameras and get to work and do it. Just imagine if, for example, there's a crew here, and then we've got cameramen, and somebody's going to run the sound and all that kind of stuff. But it then becomes a show, a program, and the technical production then would be wonderful, but then the onus would be on me to really start providing different content. It would become like doing a YouTube video 3 times a week, and I can't do that. So I have very mixed feelings about that, upping the production levels of this. I really, don't know. I can do this now 3 times a week because it means literally just sitting down and turning on the gear. Some days I come down here literally 10 minutes before 8. So I don't really know what to think. The YouTube videos too. If I had someone to help and, separate camera work instead of running across the room, turning it on, coming back down, sitting down. Hello, this is Woodblock Printmaker Dave Bull. I really don't know. I'm torn, both things. I would love better production, better production, physical production, but I don't know if I can produce more content, that would match it. More so than the Twitch streams here, what I would like, I'm not quite sure what I want, but what I would like is production help with the YouTube videos, so that I myself could get the content ready, and then the crew says, okay, we're ready for you, Dave, and have you got the content ready? And I'm like, yeah, okay, here's the script, here's the B-roll I need, let's do this, and then I could, sit on the stool and do the presentation without even thinking about the other part of it. And I guess if we were actually doing that, then we could do many more videos, So I don't know what I want, It's, if you don't even know what you want to ask for, you're not going to get it, so I don't know, I guess mostly I think what I want, quote unquote, is just some way to get myself organized, the time organized. I don't know. someone said, just do live what you're doing now on YouTube. Remember, our streams here on the YouTube content are completely, totally different. The stream here is just, as I said, I sat down and turned it on and whatever. That's fine. But the YouTube videos, no, they are very, very, the recent one, the last couple of years, they are very carefully planned, It's like making a program. And because I've learned, the Twitch content here, the Twitch here is ephemeral. It's here today and it's gone tomorrow. But the YouTube things, because of the stunning numbers of people that are watching them, I'm now trying to be careful with producing something that is interesting and useful for people watching it later. And there's 1,000 ideas here for programs. It's just a question of getting away from the daily firefighting enough to do them. I certainly have no plans to change the overall mood of what we're doing. I don't want high content stuff and make it look like a PBS documentary and stuff. I can't actually stand that sort of thing. They play the music and whatever. It's just pretentious. So I'm quite happy with the things that I've produced, and I don't have any plans to change that. Just I would really like to sort of be doing more of them. And actually, we've here. There was a plan for this, and I have 2 weeks left in the master plan. There's 2 weeks left to make it happen, and it's obviously not going to happen. Those of you who have been, in and around my affairs now for quite a long time, you'll know that the whole Mokuhankan thing actually really got started almost exactly 10 years ago. In Japan, somebody's 60th birthday is traditionally a special occasion birthday. They call it kandeki. And it's a reflection of the old astrological cycles, where there was a cycle of 12 years and then a 5-year big cycle on top of that. So there was sort of a mood that when you became 60, you had run your cycle. You've done what you needed to do, assuming you're still alive, and whatever. And that whatever time you had left now was sort of free time, bonus time, whatever. And it really was customary for people to, look back on their life, see what they've done. If you had a business, you would think about passing it on to the next people now. So at 60, that was it. You were done and cooked, and the rest was free time to do what you want. And they even had a tradition. They would get the person who was having their 60th birthday, they would put him in a little red vest. You can see this on Wikipedia if you look up the word kandeki, Kanreki. And the person would have a ceremony, they put him in a red vest, get him drunk, and he behaves like a child, a little child's vest. And that was it. It's your start of your second childhood. Not in the sense that you were senile, but in the sense that time to be a child again and play, and your adult work was now behind you. So when I was 59, I felt this tradition, and I made my decision. Instead of going to be staying as a single craftsman, I would start a new life, whatever. My solo craftsman's years were behind me, and at 60, I would start this new venture, working with other people, etc., etc., etc. And I felt it would take 10 years. And I wrote about this. I wrote a sort of a book/booklet about this. We've got it. I was Watanabe Nabe-san was reading this. This is the sort of semi-book that I wrote 10 years ago, outlining a date 10 years in the future Mokuhankan. And what I outlined was a Mokuhankan that was being run by the other people. There was carvers, printers, a manager, there was a video team, there was all kinds of stuff. And Dave was sort of in and around it. He worked as a carver there, but he didn't run the place. And that was the master plan set up on my 60th birthday. So early November 2011. And here we are. I have 2 weeks left to finish off and round off the master plan. And I rather suspect it's not going to happen. So the sounds you hear down there at the cans and bottles, I don't think the garbage truck is there yet. What you're hearing are people stealing. They're there to steal the cans, pushing the bottles aside because they don't get much money for the bottles. And they're there to steal the aluminum cans because the pickup hasn't started yet, I don't think. Rotating the block, boy oh boy, it's embarrassing. I don't want to talk about this too much. They really didn't rotate. I'm a hacker here. I'm mostly carving under my nose in front. So the lines are mostly, it's the same movement of my hand. So the block rotates to fit under the pattern of my hand. Tarankan, the young guy here, he's training the other way around, the way it should be. Instead of rotating the block round and round, he will carve like this, and then he will carve like that, and move the wrist in, out, 4 corners of the circle. And if you're training that way from the beginning, you've got basically 4 ways to do it, right? Carve down, carve up, carve up. And you can carve a circle without moving the block at all, depending on how large and how small it is. And I didn't learn this way. I didn't even know about this or think about this. So I spent the first, whatever it was, 15 years or so, whatever, before I met a carver, just carving one way under my nose, moving the block. So I'm not about to try changing now to the other way at my age. But Taran-san, coming over here from Wales, he's working with Asuka-san, and Asuka-san's being strict about it. It's not that never, ever move the block. It's that for the most part, you don't move it. And they will move it like within this kind of a range, here to here to here to here, to get the angle just right. But what I'm doing, totally swiveling this thing, is not the traditional way. And we've talked about this many, many, many times. Someone's asking about the neko hake. There are 4 that are decided, finished. It's the 2 we've done. Evening snow, whatever, night rain, are done and finished and published. Descending geese is being traced as we speak, and Evening Bell is being carved and is in the process of getting color separations. It's the other 4 that I still have not decided. What are they? Autumn moon, clearing weather. I can't even remember all the themes now. It's been so long since I've looked at it. Hontoni, I can't remember. My God. Help me, please. What are the other 2 themes then? We still need autumn moon. We still need clearing weather. Returning sales. We haven't got that yet. And what's the 8th one? Are people helping me? Evening glow. Okay, thank you. It's gone. It's not that we have no good ideas. There are, over the past couple of years, there are lots of ideas for that in the box. But what I'm saying at the moment, it's not that I don't have any ideas for those, it's that I haven't decided which one. If no more entries ever came in, I think I could find things in the inbox there. But if you are still interested in throwing your ideas into that box, those are the 4 that are still available for new ideas to come in, because I haven't decided what to do. There are quite a few good ideas in there, but I haven't put my finger on one yet. And that series, I have to apologize, and I'm very sad that I haven't been on top of it very much, but they are selling so well. The 2 that we have made are dynamite prints, and they are selling very well. Sugu-san, at the moment, I think she's finished today, her latest batch of Evening Rain. And this is the 3rd batch we've printed on that one. And I think 3 batches of the Night Snow have also gone. It's going to be a hugely popular series if we can keep up the quality. And I'm really happy to have started it, and there's nothing I can say beyond apologies that we haven't been able to keep on top and get the publication schedule. Part of it is Corona, and part of it is, Dave's bit of disorganization, and But I am very happy, very, very happy with what's happening. There's so much talent out there, you know. It's just fantastic. If we had the flourishing deck of carvers and printers here standing by and an efficient management system, my God, we could make so many beautiful prints, you know. When you look back at the old days, early part of the 20th century, people like the Hasui and the Watanabe Workshop and stuff they're doing, and the Doi Hunger Workshop, those places. You look at the history and the dates and numbers on their prints, and in any given year, they published dozens and dozens of spectacular, beautiful, difficult prints. And if you go back to the Edo time, the late Edo, the Bakumatsu time, when Edo and Meiji were blending and coming together, the people like the Yoshitoshis and stuff, there was hundreds of prints per year published by these guys. Whatever, it's the consumer demand was there and the production capabilities were there, and they just rolled and rolled and rolled and rolled and rolled, you know. And the production capability is not there, but I'm convinced the consumer demand absolutely is there. And if we could get it together, my God. How many impressions on the evening rain print? I don't know. It's 22, around there, 20 to 25, somewhere around there. I don't know. Did we learn about the genes? We did indeed learn about the genes. A very nice lady who has been supporting our work, a very nice family who has been supporting our work. She is probably here this morning. She has a couple of different handle names here on Twitch. We did learn. I've had some email correspondence back and forth with the lady. I know. So no, it was a mystery the first day, but she owned up and very, very friendly supporter. Very, very warm, heartwarming, approach. You know. A bit, even if a bit over enthusiastic, I could sometimes feel, but wonderful. .48. I think that's our new one, isn't it? I think that's our new shoe lady. 8:46, 8:48. Is that the time she comes by? I think that's our newest one. Something else there you see me doing that I guess the old carvers never did, and I don't know because I wasn't there. I'm holding it at the moment in pencil style. It's called, the people call it pensiru hando. This style is called shake hando, and this is pensiru hando. And I really think in the old days they never did this. I was chatting with Taran-san a while ago about this, and I said, Asuka-san, do you ever see him doing that, holding like a pencil? And he's like, no, I never saw that. So I'm here, it's shake hand at the moment, but there's a feeling that if I do it this way, it's difficult to control how deep the knife goes. So quick switch to pencil, and I can do this extremely lightly. Then back to shake, I'm backhanding now. back to shake hand. So Dave here anyway is switching back and forth between those three ways. Shake hand front like this, the way I said under my nose I've been doing it. Then here we go, shake hand, backhand over the back of my hand. I can do this a bit, but I can't go all the way around a complete circle. And then the third one is pensirhando against this backstop. And that's something else important too. I'm not doing this, let's come out here. I'm not doing this freehand. The knife will go all over the place. I've got my finger. My nail here is covered with marks. My nail finger here is blocking this. So I'm pulling, we've talked about this before, I'm pulling 10 and holding 9, and that gives me a real gentle pull, and it's never going to go ba-boom and pull too far. And Ito-san did that too, absolutely. And all of us, there's a hard patch of skin inside here under our nail, because when we're carving this way, we block it with our nail. And when you're carving that way, you block it with the backside. So always we block. We never carve freehand, as in the knife can go anywhere it wants. It's always, and this is always, 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 it's always supported by the other hand. It would be chaos. The knife would just be jumping all over the wood. The wood has hard spots, soft spots, hard spots, soft spots, and there's no way you could carve free and expect any kind of control. You've got to block it, and that gives you your control to do exactly what you want. Okay, it looks like the waves are done, it seems. The rock was, look at that, there's a little patch I forgot there, look at that. Pop out this patch or we'll have a black blob in the middle of the sea. Oh no, there's a bit more here, look at this, a bit more. When they say shake hand, this is not some terminology from the old Edo era. This is, if you look in books that they teach in university about teaching printmaking and stuff like that, it's a 20th century terminology that teachers or whatever have been using. Pensirhando, shake hando. This is not old Edo era terminology at all. I have no idea what they would, there was no alternatives. So just simply people carved the normal way. So this is a modern term. So if you're out there trying to do it, if you're if you're an amateur, whatever, somebody learning how to try to do this, there's no rules. You can do whatever you want that cuts the lines you want. If, like Taran-san here, if you had the idea that you would like to become a really supreme craftsman in the way that the old guys were of doing ukiyo-e, then you need to learn that technique of over your hand and don't move the block. If that's your goal, high technical skill. If your goal is to make interesting woodblock prints that are pleasant and fun for you, then there's no rules, and you will probably spend most of your time carving in front of your nose because it's smoother and easier. So I'm not really telling you what to do. I mean, I'm not putting a barrier. It's really difficult to carve that circle this way without moving the block. And it's only worth doing if your goal is the achievement of a high technical skill. That was my goal. I didn't know at the time, but whatever. Shake, handshake, shaking hands. You grab the knife, it's like you're shaking hands. Here, shake, shake, shake. That's your handshake, grab. You've grabbed the knife, shake hand. I think. And then pencil, pensirhando. Can I show the position of stop finger on outside method? No, the guy to ask there is Taran-san. Here, let's draw a pencil in. I don't know how to do that because I have never done it. Let's draw a line here. Oh, this is simple too. Remind me in a minute about the images for the top half. Here we are. Here we go. Under my finger, I'm blocking. The knife is going under my nail, and this is hard skin now. It's a hard patch of skin here, and it lets me come down here. If I was going to do this overhand, then my knife is on the back of that thing, and the knife would be sharpened the other way around. Remember, I'm a left-hander, so the knife would be sharpened the other way. The flat side of the knife would be here, and my finger is behind it. You can see in the YouTube videos I did with Ito-san, I close up on his hands. You can see exactly what he's doing. The finger is behind it, and you're looking over the back of your hand. The high technical skill, it's not just pride, it's efficiency. It's super, super, super efficient. It's much better, night and day better. What's the big difference? I know you can't see. Let's try and do it this way. If I'm carving the front way here, under the line here, I'm looking at the front here, but the line that's coming up, I can't see the line that's coming up because my hand is on top of it. So I can only see a few millimeters of line at a time. Cut a bit forward, cut a bit forward, cut a bit forward. Ooh, the line is going this way. Ooh, it's going this way. I can't see where we're going. But if I have the line, if I'm carving over the back of my hand looking down on it, I can see the whole course of the line. I can see where we're going. It's going to go left, it's going to go right, and I make my movements where we go, there we go. It's infinitely better to do it that way. Infinitely better. It's much, much harder. So I don't want to put the barrier in. If you're a newbie, you've got to try it this way, otherwise it's no good. It's much more difficult. You'll cut the line, you'll chip the line, you'll break the line. It'll be a mess. But if you fight through it and do your practice and do your practice, you will come out the other end of the process as a much more efficient technical carver. This was the old days. The kids were forced through this. It was crap at the beginning, but they knew that X years later they would be able to do this. For someone who is just doing this casually, like most of you might be, it's just as well to do what we're doing here. And you've seen my work. It's possible to produce glorious work this way. But it's not the right way, it's not efficient, and it's certainly more of a struggle. So I have no easy answer for you there. I'm sorry. Taran-san, he is spending the time and trouble to do it the right way. And sometimes it's frustrating for him because it's much more difficult. But if he sticks with it, he will come out the process at the other end much, much better carver than I am. So he will leave me in the dust, absolutely, if he sticks with this and if he does this, At the moment, the work I'm doing outclasses his work, but he's on the path to overtake me, clearly. He knows this. It's just a question of time. It really, what he and I should do is sort of sit down and make a video presentation about this together, I think we've sort of talked about this. The confusing part of it as well is that I'm left-handed, which mixes it up, You hear the styrofoam sound, right? It's a delivery, food delivery, fish or something. In case anybody's been asking, we do have a show and tell today, of course. And last night before I left Ome, yesterday afternoon, before I left Ome, I went to the shelves there. There's still tons and tons of prints and books. I brought back a few. I put 3 or 4 things in my backpack, and we've got something here that I brought back from Ome. It's going to be one of those show and tells that is just too big. We can only see a really glimpse of what it's going to be, and we can't spend it. It's a day's work to just page through it. So, whatever. I don't know what's all the icons here. Somebody's visiting, or there's been a raid or something. I don't know. I can't see what's going on here. I'm sorry. So, whatever. I think somebody mentioned in the stream there, so the piano playing analogy, a professional player versus somebody who is like, pecking at the keys. It's quite possible that you could be a pecker and you could do really, really interesting and novel work. And that's sort of what I'm doing. That's why I keep describing myself. I keep saying, I'm just a hacker at this. I don't mean a hacker in any kind of evil sense or stuff like that. It's just a guy who has been faced with this challenge. Okay, let's figure this out. It's sort of partly MacGyvering and partly just getting through it. And if you stick with it long enough and play with it, you can get interesting, good results. So I'm in no way ashamed of what I'm doing, but just the problem here is that people tend to look at what I'm doing and see it as this is the authentically preserved craft of Japanese carving. Well, it is and it isn't. So both things are true. This is why this conversation keeps coming back, because I really want to make sure that people understand this, What you're seeing is the traditional craft. The print we're going to make here is made with the traditional techniques. But Dave himself doesn't move the knife in exactly the way that the old guys did, I think it's okay. As we go forward, as Taran-san himself gets better at this, either he will make more videos himself, and if he doesn't, I'll incorporate his knowledge and skills into our videos as time goes by, and we'll set the record straight as we get going on this. So it's really cool. I've come here first. I got warmed up on this. We've got a lot of PR. We've got people watching, and then Taran-san coming after me, taking the time and trouble to do this properly, and having both of those things together will be really, really valuable. So. Okay, as we said, the rocks are done, the sea is done, the foamy stuff is done. We're going up now. We've got a pine tree in the middle here, and we've got more bamboo. We've already had a batch of bamboo, and when I was choosing the designs for this one, I really went back and forth. There's a set, you've seen them on the website there. There's a set of about 30 prints in this group that I've chosen the 5 from. And I tried to pick a group of 5 that would have a good color representation, that it would have a good mood, that some would have birds, some would this. And I couldn't get it perfectly balanced, and we have repetition of bamboo. And I struggled with this. I didn't want to repeat anything, but if I took that out and put this in, it wouldn't be any sea. Anyway, we've got a good group of 5 prints, but unfortunately, there is a little bit of a repetition. One can never have too much bamboo here in Japan, can I? Whoa, conversation. I'm sorry, missing most of it here. So the February prints, okay, what I was getting at here, at the moment they're covered up here. I'll zoom out just a second here. At the moment, the February batch prints are covered up, and I did this because what's underneath here is Jed's rough sketches for the designs. And he and I go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And when we're talking about what to do, he will first slap a pencil, just go bang, 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 bang. What do you think? Something like this. And I'm like, I think that's the right track. Let's keep moving and let's dig a bit deeper in this. So what I have here was simply the really, really rough pencil drawing. And it wasn't fair to him to open this and show everybody because it doesn't look interesting. I can see where it's going, Jed can see where it's going, but if I just show you this, it's just going to look like scribbles. Anyway, long story short, we have moved forward on this. He sent me some more, and I'm like, let's do this, and most of it is from him straight through. And the other day, just before I went to Ome, it would be Sunday night or Monday, he sent me the Photoshop. And what he's done is he sketched and touched up and did the layout in Photoshop. Then he printed out larger scale the Photoshop line work. Then he put on top of that transparent paper. He's got a light table. He got his brush, and then he brushed these things. Then scanned that, brought it back in, tweaked it in Photoshop, and here we go. I don't have that for you. It's in my computer here somewhere. So what I will be doing soon, and maybe when I get towards the end of this group of 5 here, carving mine, I will then say, let's do another paste down. We'll paste down on top of this Jed's ready to go key lines. I will carve those, and we'll do the whole thing together one by one. So the point I was just trying to make is that we do have now the February prints mocked up in finish. And I showed them to the ladies in Ome the last couple of days. Said, hey, by the way, next year's series, blah, blah, blah. They're a bit worried. Can we do this? It's so small. Can we cut these prints and stuff? And they're really worried about this. I'm saying, look. And I showed them the mock-up of the finished versions of January, February. And they were both like, no way. And they both said something interesting to me. They both said really something interesting. They said, can we have one set? This is the first time. These ladies have been working for me for 10 years, since 2011, both of these ladies. They've come, done the work, packed the stuff up, and sent it out. And this is the first time ever that they have said, can I have one? And I'm like, I can arrange that. Whatever. Now that could tell you two things. That could tell you that next year's set is really of interest only to a certain middle-aged Japanese lady. I don't know. No, what it is this stuff is of interest to anybody. They look beautiful. But then one thing, Ishigami-san noticed something about this, and she said, this is going to be a problem. And she told me her story, and I could not stop laughing. I laughed till stuff snorted out my nose. I gotta tell you this story. I can't tell you this. I gotta tell you, but I can't. She's got a whiteboard on the bench in front of her. And she's got the stock level of the boxes that we use and this and that and controlling. We have different print series now. We made ukiyo-e heroes. And her stock board has UH, and then that's the UH group, and there's the boxes are left, and this is there and there in this area upstairs. This is her master control panel. And all the series of prints we make got encoded with a 2-letter code. HM is up there. We did something called the Henry Manga. That's okay. SA is there. Surimono albums. We're still selling some of my Surimono albums. MS, the My Solitude series. One of them actually is a 3-digit code. It's TBM. It's the Tamatebako Mystique series. And we've got all these up. There's P1, P2, Portrait Set 1, Portrait Set 2. They're all handled with 2-letter. There's JJ up there. There's one we used to call GJ. We had the Japan Journey, then we did the Ghibli Journey, but we can't use that word, so we called it WP, the Woodblock Pilgrimage. You see where this is going. It's okay. And when I told her the name for next year's series, and she says, we're going to have to put it here. And she turns to me and says, we can't do that. And next year's series is called Embrace the Delight. And she says, we can't call it the ED series. I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. You sort of figure it out. Here we are, join Mokuhankan with our series of prints next year. ED number 1, ED number 2, whatever, Wow. And she seriously says, no, look, you've got to change the name. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not going to change the name. You figure out on your whiteboard what to do, whatever you want, but whatever. So. But it was also, and I didn't say this to her, about 10 seconds later after I'd stopped laughing, I was going to say something back to her, and I thought, Dave, don't go here. Like, what I wanted to say was, how do you know that expression? Whatever. So. Discretion is the better part of valor. There's another one. This is pencil hand backhand. Look at that. We had pencil hand where I did it, from the front like this. Pencil hand. But pencil hand also works backhand. Don't show Asuka Sensei. Back to shake. How are we doing here? Oh, it's buzzer time. Buzzer time. least it's not VD. I haven't had that word in years. Do they still use that term? I don't know. I think there's another expression these days, isn't there? STDs or something. I don't know. No idea. Whatever. Whatever. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Okay, now I have a show and tell today. When I first put it on the bench, some of you are going to say, we've seen that before. And you haven't. But what you have seen is we have more than one of these items, a similar item. So those of you who are going to say, I've seen that. This is a repeat. We can't do that. That's not true. You've never seen this. But we have more than one of these. I have a whole bunch of these, and this is a different one. And we've got 15 minutes here, and we can't. There's enough material in this book for whatever, a lifetime. You saw one of these before. We did a stream from Ome. It was a year ago or so or something. I took my iPad out there, was doing something, and we saw a book like this. It's a book of kimono designs. And actually, I brought that one back with me last night too. You have seen this one. I've showed it to you before. This is simply another one in the same kind of series. We're going to start at the back of the book because we need to see the date. I need your help translating for me, please. This is Meiji 35. The 20th of June was the publication date here. Meiji 35. Give me that. That's 1900, somewhere around there. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I really can't remember what these dates are. 1902, somebody's got it. I think John's off today. I think he had a networking meeting. And it's published in Kyoto. It says copyrights all protected. Don't touch this. It's published in Kyoto, made by the woodblock company for Kyoto. And the company who sponsored this is a company that sells rolls of fabric for making kimono. In other words, it's a clothing company, but they don't sell. And in the old days, and even now, when you buy an expensive kimono, you're not buying it for a company that has made the kimono. You go to a kimono store and you look at the rolls of fabric. And some of them, they've already put it together into a kimono shape. That's fine to help you see what it's going to be like. But you don't buy a finished kimono per se. You choose your roll, and then it's either made up for you or you make it up into the kimono yourself. So this is a catalog from a company. It would be a weaving company. It could be weaving/dyeing. I don't really know. I'm thinking this is a company that would have made what they call Nishijin Ori. This is the preface, all woodblock carved. It's a poetic, descriptive preface describing what you were about to see. And it is the first catalog. This company would publish one of these a couple of times a year. And they've got their catalog, and all the designs are in here, and they're numbered. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah, 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 and it goes down to number 120. So there are 120 kimono designs in this book. This catalog would be in clothing stores all across the country, or their dealer network, as it were. They would have a network of places all around the country who were dealers for their products, and that shop would have some of the more popular rolls and stuff already in stock, but they couldn't possibly afford to buy them all and stock them all in every little kimono shop all across the country. So the catalog would serve for ordering. This is just an introductory page. These are all woodblock prints. You can see what's going to happen. We're going to see kimono designs page by page by page. These are the introductory pages of this catalog, which would have been sent, presumably free, out to the dealers, and the dealers would use it to show their customers. And the level of carving and printing and detail is just beyond belief. This is a freebie catalog. Consumers wouldn't own this. Consumers wouldn't buy it. These are the introductory pages, and I'm not actually quite sure what objects we are seeing here. Is this part of a design for an obi? I don't think so, because the design is sideways. So I'm not actually sure what we are seeing here on the front introductory pages. I would sort of think it looks like a table runner or something, but I don't really know. Once we get past the introduction, we do have. They also sold furoshiki, and these are squares of silk fabric that people would, use to put things in and tie them up. So they also have some furoshiki designs here at the beginning of the book. And do you get what's happening here? Those of you who have made woodblock prints and you know something about gradations, you want to make a little reproduction of this print? You've got your cranes and you've got your sea and everything else. And how about this background? That's a gradation. That's another gradation. That's another one. That's another one. Like, do you want to have a go at this? Do I want to spend the rest of my life making this thing? How the furoshiki would have been made, the gradations are painted on or dyed or something, I haven't the slightest idea. I know nothing about the production of the fabrics. But looking at the production of this woodblock print catalog, so you wouldn't do it one by one. It could be maybe it was two. It doesn't seem so, because if they had carved the alternate ones, you couldn't do that without banging here. So my guess is there's maybe 4 blocks, the ones far enough apart that you can rub and rub and rub. So it's not 1 block, it's not 2 blocks, it's not 3 blocks. Those couldn't be side by side. Those could maybe be side by side, but they can't be side by side on the ones next to them. So it could be alternate blocks on alternate rows, which would give you 1 block, 2 blocks, 3, maybe 4 blocks you could maybe do it. It's a woodblock print. A toss-off woodblock print at the beginning of a catalog page. The whites you are seeing are opaque white. This is not the white of the paper showing through. This is very much Kyoto. Woodblock prints. Woodblock prints. You're talking about the dyeing process. I can't speak about that in the slightest. I know absolutely nothing about that at all. But what I do know is that the woodblock prints they have made here probably reflect very accurately what the finished dyed products will look like. It's like Japan today. When you go in a restaurant or at the front of the restaurant, you'll quite often see the showcase with, the wax food, the plastic food. And as you know, those of you who've been here, you know the deal. It's an exact replica of what will be on your plate when you buy your dinner after looking at one of those samples. And the same thing here. What you're seeing here is a woodblock print will almost certainly be an exact replica of the actual fabric. And look at this gradation. Those of you who have tried printmaking, Karen, are you there? Look at these gradations. And I mean, come on. Come on. As I sit here and look at it now, it looks like the paper is all ripply and wavy. The only word, you're saying this word, the only word to describe this is insane. Insane. Now the reason I brought this book for you today to show is because this image came up on a Yahoo auction last week. A copy of this book came up on Yahoo auction this week. I didn't buy it because I already have one, but let me go right now to the auction page because it must have finished sometime in the last couple of days. Let me see if I can copy paste. Where's the auction page? Here we are. Here we are. Let me copy and paste. This is the same book that I have holding right now. It sold on auction the other day. And it's in quite bad condition. There is foxing, there is mold, some of the pages are creased and torn. It's the same book though, and a whole bunch of people were after it, but look at the price. 21,000 yen, that's just about $200. Look at the detail here. How many woodblock prints do we have here? You tell me the story. This looks like old folk tales. This is Urashima Taro, I think. Maybe it's all Urashima Taro. I don't know. The kanji is the kanji for kotobuki, and inside the pieces of the kanji are various folk tales, or step by step in one folk tale. And this is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I would love to make a reproduction of just this page. This is a wood block print. Look at the scale. Look at the scale. That's my finger. Oh, whatever. I've been at this for 40 years, and I still cannot get past this. So much pleasure. And remember, the guys who made this, they weren't like, okay, guys, hold your breath. We're doing something really special here. Let's do this. These were guys who sat down, got to work, took a smoke, and got to work, and bang, bang, bang. They were just men who blew through this stuff day by day by day by day. Just normal, all in a day's work. All in a day's work. And for now, we're looking at stuff that just cannot be done anymore. We just cannot do it anymore. We're here, it's like 9:30 already. I've got to like page 5 of this thing. It just goes on and on. Look, just to give you an idea of what's coming up here, we have a book full of spectacular kimono designs, page by page by page by page by page. There's spring ones, summer ones, winter ones, fall ones, formal kimonos, regular kimonos. It just rolls on and on and on. We can't see it all. I'll leave it here at the bench here, and we'll look through it maybe again later this week. That human beings could make such stuff is, to me, again, the word is just only insane. And everything you see here, the lettering, everything, this is all hand carved. None of this is printing press. The printing press was in Japan at this time, but it could not do this kind of color. If you wanted to present something to your viewers in color, the only game in town was woodblock printmaking. And here in 1902, whatever, there still were many, many craftsmen available. The workshops were not flourishing. The ukiyo era had finished. They were not taking any more apprentices, really. It was dying. But in that last couple of decades, while those men were still alive, up until the 1930s, there was just spectacular work produced. A gradation leaving a white space in the middle. It's insanely difficult. You have to get the pigment on your brush, come in from the top a bit, come in from the bottom a bit. This is not white opaque. This is white paper showing through. This is white opaque on top. But the white you're seeing here is left over from the gradation going around the back. That's nightmares. That's nightmare material. Someone's asking, how much did I pay for this? I don't know offhand. It would have been whatever, some thousands of yen, like $50, 60, 70. I got this many, many years ago, more than 10 years ago, when such things were just unwanted and cheap. If this was in good condition now, that would have gone on auction last night. I think it would have gone for $40,000, somewhere around there, $400. I don't know. But as you saw, the one in bad condition last night, a few days ago, went for $21,000. You know. This is an... どうも、はい。ありがとうございます。お願いします。どうも、thank you. はい。This is a design reflecting Heian era iconography. The cart we're seeing and the general patterns reflect something like the tale of Genji or a Heian era mood. And nobody would wear a kimono like this right now. This pattern yells 1900. I mean, this is a 100-year-old fashion. And back in those days, like next year and next year, they would change and there would be a different mood on it. We can't tell the difference now. But this is 100 years old, and nobody would ever wear something like this these days because it looks so old-fashioned. The man hours to make this. It's a catalog, a freaking catalog. What you also see sometimes on auctions, of course, people have got books like this, and because the book itself is so massive and so difficult, and who wants it, they will break these books up, you know. The dealer or somebody who bought that book on auction this week, because the book is so rotten and in bad condition, their plan may be to break it up. Of course, we ourselves don't do this. There's an interesting question Andy's asking it. Can you track down a kimono from the catalog? I mean, of course, it's not my business at all, but there are people who collect antique kimono. And there are kimono shops all along this street which have old antique kimono. And I imagine they're out there. This was, as I said, these kimono were sold. People ordered these things, and they must have been made. So this very thing we're looking at, presumably, it was ordered any number of times that year. Kimono were made from them. And such kimono must still be here and there in existence. It's so impossible to get it all tied together, but absolutely they must exist out there. Interesting. This is the mon space. The middle of the back of many kimonos had a space for your family mon. And what they've done here, the reason there's 3 moons on this kimono, is this is the space for the mon, and they have turned it into actual moon space. Cranes, cranes, cranes. It must have been a popular theme in 1902. Now, antique kimono themselves are a big business here in Japan these days. Nobody wants their old kimono. And people just drive around. They drive around. They put an ad in the local newspaper. We'll come and pick up the kimono you don't want, give you a few bucks. And ladies phone up the number. The guy drives to their house. He gives them 30, 40, 50 bucks. And he drives away with a truck full of unused kimono. Nobody wants them. How many blocks? You know, I have no idea. When I first got one of these books, I thought, actually, come on, Dave, there's no way. This cannot be wood block carved and printed. This must be press printing, you know, or something. There's no way they could publish a catalog with this many designs every year. The amount of labor is just impossible. There's no way, Dave, these can be wood block prints. Over the years, I've learned. I've got single sheets. You open this up, and you can see the barren marks are on the back. And when you look at them close up, there's lots of places where you can see the carving knife. You saw me carving today, whatever. We'll carve down 1, down 2, down 2. The knife bumps in sometimes. So the difference between material, somebody could draw it, photograph it, and make a metal plate. A. You could draw it, carve it, and print from a wooden block. B. You can see the difference in the finished work between something that was drawn and replicated by a photograph and something that was carved. There's any number of hints and signatures inside the carved lines that you can see were made by the curve of a knife. When it was just done from the brush photographically, those are not there. And these pages, every one of these pages, show those little hints and pops and nicks from a knife. The backside shows the rubbing marks from the barren. So believe me, these are actually, and I did not believe it myself at first when I saw these things, these are actually handmade woodblock prints, carved and printed. It's a gradation, separately applied gradation. When they did the blue, they left a couple of gaps and they put an extra color in to fill those gaps. There's 4 places on this one. Look at this. An extra color done as a gradation on top. There was just no end to this. And as a print dealer here, we're faced with this. I've got this book here in my possession, and if I were to do this, cut the string, open it up, put this page into our catalog, spectacular Meiji era woodblock print, $200, it would sell. This book has freaking 120 kimono patterns. We are going to take care of this. Look at this, look at this. I keep turning pages, we're out of time. There's 120 patterns in this book. Look at this. What we're doing this year with our little reproduction series, carving those little things. You see me spend the past hour carving these little things, and we're so proud. Oh, we're making such nice prints here at Mokuhankan, These guys, he would look at me, the guys who carved and printed this, would look at me like I was in kindergarten. No exaggeration. From their point of view, I am a kid in kindergarten fooling around with this. And I'm so proud of the work we're going to do this year. People are going to collect them. They're going to be so happy. But 120 years ago, those men would just face palm. Because what we're doing here is just so trivial. I can't, whatever. Just we do what we can do. We're doing what we can do. And I can just sit and marvel at this. Look at how many color blocks. I mean, come on. The other thing about this too, because this is a yearly catalog, or actually they did this company did this twice a year. This was a 6-month catalog. And there would be absolutely no need ever to do a second edition of this. The company commissioned, we need 100 copies or whatever it was. I have no idea. The carving would get done block by block by block. It goes through to the printers, printing done. That's it. There was no need ever for more. Those blocks would be one of two things. If they were thick wood, they would then go back and get planed off back to the carvers for the next print. If it was already the second time around and the block was now too thin, you can't plane it off anymore. It was real cold in those workshops. So bang, that's it. Split it up, throw it in the wood burning stove, and that provides your heat for the workshop for the next day or so. They were printed for what they needed to print, and then the wood was, quote, recycled. Okay, that's enough for now on this. I'm going to leave this book on my bench here. We're going to come back to it. We'll do another show and tell here Saturday morning. We're going to come back, look at some more of this, because some of the stuff at the back of this book is spectacular in a different way. So I'm going to put a bookmarker in here. I'm going to put a bookmarker in here. We have looked at number 15. There are 120 in this catalog. We're not going to spend 6 weeks on this, but we're going to spend maybe one more day or so. And then next week, something else I brought back from Ome, it's going to be sock blowing time. You think this was good? No way. I've got something else that goes together with this that will blow your socks off. Anyway, enough for now. Enough for now. This is Thursday morning. I will be back Saturday morning again. You know exactly what I'm going to be doing. More carving on our little tiny bits of bamboo. more little carving on my bits of bamboo. I'm trying not to think too much about this. I'll see you 2 days from now, Saturday morning. We'll maybe get some ninja action on Saturday too. See what happens. Let's put the outside camera up. Oh, they're opening up. I can see. They're there. Today's Thursday. They're expecting to do some business today. Let's see. Are the ninja boys outside? They are. They're trying to catch little kids to show. So they've got their little kago with a mamesuke, a little dog on top. Whatever. Dave's Entertainment is watching the ninja guys. It's okay. Fine for it. All right. Thank you very much for watching. I will have a read through the chat when I have my lunch later on today. Thanks for your participation. Bye for now. Just turning off.